Hi, I'm Justin.
Also, I hate the way my voice sounds, so if you can do whatever Photoshop does to voices, make me sound awesome.
And this is my lovely friend,
The beauty in the eyes of the beholder, and it's just about getting into the seat of being the beholder.
Hayley.
I don't think you have to be particularly perceptive. I just think you have to look up.
This podcast is mostly just her telling me stories.
If you expose yourself to the possibility that this might be really awkward, there can be something just really cool on the other side of it.
She thinks that her life and way of looking at things are
Oh, I was kind of waiting on you. I thought you were getting your stuff ready. You're waiting on me?
pretty normal.
You got to edit out all the misinformation about the Amish.
Maybe you can relate.
I would like a chance to re-sing the Amish Paradise.
If you want lighthearted stories
All right, you want to talk about goats?
and stream of consciousness,
I just woke up and needed some friends, and so I bought them.
then you're gonna like the Sunny Side Up podcast.
Sunny side up, sunny side up, sunny side up, sunny side up.
So, if you're at all like me, you may feel that you're living in a world that can be a bit overwhelming and confusing at times. I'm also a huge fan of podcasts, documentaries, docudramas, stories, and of just information in general. Between all of that and the social media and news, sometimes our brains can feel like they're on overload. Hayley and I hope that this podcast can be something of an antidote to all of that. Like little jello shots of joy and distraction. None of it is too serious or really too informative. Mostly it's just two friends who have conversational chemistry talking about whatever enters the minds of relatively ADHD people. We hope you enjoy.
I have been wearing snow boots for 2 days now. I don't know why. Sometimes your body just decides it ain't going to fight the cold.
Yeah. Gonna fight no more.
Loud, do it.
I don't know the tune. Fight no more. I don't remember that. I don't know what that song is.
I don't either.
Yeah. It just came to me.
There's an app.
It's a gift.
There's an app. Which app is it where you can hum those lyrics and it helps you find it. It might just be Siri or it might be ChatGPT or whatever. One of them has an extension where you can hum the part of the song that you can remember and it helps you identify it.
Helpful.
Yeah, like a Shazam, but in reverse.
For those of us that are Shazam or lyrics challenged, yeah, I just use Google. It's like crazy. I'll remember like bits and pieces of just nothing, but like I'll know a couple of the sequences of the words, and it'll like, yep, I know what song you're talking about. Nuts.
So I love technology, but for that reason, the simplicity. And the other people are like, targeted ads are so terrible. I'm like, nope, love them. Send me all the helps I can get.
Yeah.
All the conveniences.
Yeah, like I don't need to know, anything about, wrenches or something, but I would be very interested in boots or whatever your thing is. Yeah.
Or I don't even know what I'd be interested in. You tell me, Internet. You know
Even
me
better
than I know
That's
myself.
Right.
Tell me what I need.
I love it.
That would be so helpful. Social media can be a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, my friend's dog got lost.
Oh.
And terrible.
Yes.
New Year's Eve.
Never good.
She's in the fireworks industry, so she's part of the problem. No, she's precious. But, dogs, so you assume that wasn't why this dog got lost. But so many dogs get lost at that time, and everybody's sharing if my dog ran off because of the fireworks or this and this and this.
Yeah.
You're in Georgia. Do you have fireworks? Are they still illegal here?
No. My neighbors blow them off all the time. We live in a very Latino heavy area, and we've discovered Latino folk do be loving their fireworks, yo.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it Alabama? Are they illegal in Alabama? For some reason, there's a huge fireworks outlet right on the state line.
Yeah.
And I thought it was because they were outlawed in one of the states. Now, I don't know if...
now there may be some sort of weird thing about... Oh, yeah. I think you're allowed to buy them, sell them, and definitely you're allowed to blow them off, or like everyone in this neighborhood is going to jail because it feels like D-Day out here on any of the major holidays. And just randomly you're like, are we shooting at each other or are we blowing off fireworks? And thankfully most of the time it is fireworks. Occasionally I think it is gunshots out here when you hear boom booms. But
City of Jackson things, yes.
Yeah.
The friend's dog went missing, and miraculously she got a message one night. All the girls went over and we were watching the Taylor Swift Eras Tour concert together. Mm-hmm. Somewhere around the eras, the Red era.
Okay. We've colored them now.
That's the name of the album.
Oh, yes, my bad. Sorry.
Some of the funnest songs are in the Red era.
Those are that third one's my favorite.
Mm-hmm. She gets a phone call from a stranger and leaves the room, and then she comes back and says, I think somebody found my dog. We had already decided the dog had passed, and we were kind of bracing for a memorial of some sort. But she said, I think they found her. And the lady reached out to her on social media and said, I think your dog is at my parents' house. She looks the same. She kind of acts like this. By the way, did you teach your dog to drink from the toilet? Or is that just a thing she figured out?
The survival.
But this dog walks into these people's house and drinks out of the toilet and then climbs in their bed to sleep with him.
No.
So she's like sleeping with this elderly couple in their king-size bed. And I was like, she may not ever want to come home.
Yeah,
like, that's
she may have found a better family. She's like, I like you guys. Yeah.
It was so great. We piled in the vehicle. It was late, and with an older couple, you're like, they may already be in bed. And they said, well, if it's late for you, you can come tomorrow. But we were like, we're awake. We were putting our boots on and everything to get out. And we drive through the back roads and then turn off on another even backer road.
Yeah.
And onto an even backer road. And all of a sudden, I'm just like, what if we're stumbling into like a serial killer situation? Because
they lure you.
Yeah, they could. And then what a brilliant.
It would be.
Yeah, because you just solicit all these people who've lost a pet and then tell them, oh, I got your pet. And you describe because you've already seen the picture of it.
Right, yeah.
And then they come, and when they get there, so she says, it's at my parents' house. So she's probably like, hey, Mama, get the basement ready. I got them. They're coming to you.
Why does Billy Bob have the chainsaw? That's standing at the door.
We are turning down so many back roads. But we pull up, and 2 stay in the car and 2 go to the door because safety matters.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it was the right dog.
Did you figure out which 2 you were going to sacrifice? Clearly, I guess.
The dog owner obviously has to go.
That's fair.
She's got to ID it. And I didn't even ask. I just kind of bounced out behind her.
Okay. All right. You took up shotgun. I like that. That's what a good friend.
Good friend, but also
together.
I just don't want, if there is any sort of trauma that unfolds, I don't want to have to live with the memory of it. So just let me either be a part of it or whatever. So it's the least brave option.
I don't know about that.
But
I like
it was the dog. It was the dog.
Aww.
And we brought her home and she finished watching the concert with us. It was great.
I bet.
I love the internet.
Which song was the dog's favorite song from the Eras tour?
Well, she had already missed the Lover era, which is my favorite, and she
mine too.
Had also missed some the earlier, which are not my favorite. Which one did she perk up at any of them particularly? I really couldn't tell you.
Does she sing any songs about canines, possibly?
No, she's a cat person.
Ooh, I see now why the dog. Yeah, the dog was like, okay,
just mid at best.
Yeah.
There is a song that Taylor Swift sings about the person who owned her house before she bought it. Really fascinating woman with her own Wikipedia entry, but she married the heir of the Standard Oil fortune, and then he passed away, and she became extremely wealthy. And she had a good time with all that money, and people whispered and talked about her. And at one point, she stole the neighbor's cat and dyed it green. Ooh. But in the song, she says she stole his dog and dyed it key lime green. And I guess she changed it because she is such a cat lover. I'm not really sure, but that's about the closest thing to mentioning
the names
dogs
have been
that
changed
I
to
can
protect
think of.
the guilty type of artistic license, maybe. Yeah, I like that. That's good stuff. Only tangentially related because the lady who inherited the Standard Oil, but very recently, the first female to ever cross the $100 billion line was the whoever inherited the L'Oreal makeup fortune.
Okay.
She's now the first woman to be worth over $100 billion because I guess her husband or father, I can't remember which, kicked the bucket. I think it would have been her dad kicked the bucket.
Oh, a direct.
Yeah, I think she's a descendant. So now, she's worth.
Do you give more kudos to some, a family that can hold on to their money that long for someone to be able to inherit it $100 billion?
Yeah.
Or Taylor Swift, self-made, crossing the $1 billion threshold on her own during her own lifetime.
Oh. You know, I hate to be that guy, but I would almost be the 50-50 guy because, I mean, there is, like, legacy and all the stuff. That's pretty dope that you were able to hold on to it, which I guess at a certain point it's almost hard to lose that much money.
I'd love to try.
You're right. Yeah, I'll take that test any day. But yeah, really, I think it is cool when families pass down their fortunes. I think that's a really neat thing, and especially if it doesn't like somehow harm children of said inherited, because that's what you want to do is you want to pass down like your wealth, but you want your kids to also be kind of ready for it. So there's like some good parenting, I guess, involved. And I don't know enough about Mr. L'Oreal. So let's just hope that, you know, his daughter who inherited is an amazing person, and I'm sure she will be. And then maybe she can pass that down for a bazillion generations. So that's dope. But you also have to give mad props to someone who, like started from the bottom, now we're here. You know, come on.
And how. It's really the amassing wealth in the current economic climate is such an interesting thing for me to think about when so many people are struggling to make ends meet. But I don't know. There was a man in the news this week because he had won a lottery for hundreds of millions. I don't remember the exact figure. And he managed to spend it all before he died. And he died of a not an advanced age, like maybe in his 70s from a medical condition. But, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, can you make it last? And he's like intentionally spending, like not trying to save it or hand it down. It sounded like he lost the bulk of it in a divorce. Oh. So that's an easy way to, if it's not taxes, it's an X.
Yeah.
Like you gonna, But other than, I mean, he bought some luxury cars and things, but I just thought how fun to try to spend your wealth because there's such an ingrained like, oh, I need to make it last. I need to hold on to it. But instead, if you get it and you're like, I want to know how fast I can run through this. Yeah. Oh, what a game. Sign me up for that challenge.
Gosh, you know what that makes me think of is, you know, we've obviously touched on like feminism and kind of the rise of women, equality and all that stuff. So one of the probably like less appealing sides of equality that's happened is I now know two people. Let's see. Let me think about this really hard. I know at least. Well, there was one lady who was a dear friend of mine growing up, and right now our relationship is maybe we're a little distant. Let's just say I'm hoping maybe even by the time this launches, if all goes well, maybe we'll be back to being good friends again. Which I adore her, so it's not on my side. I'm the golden retriever in this relationship. But anyways, to get rid of her husband, she had to pay him like a pretty good chunk of money, her now ex.
Like an alimony?
Not alimony, but like...
property settlement? Yeah,
just like whatever, like settling of assets, which, you know, she was still left fine. She's still, you know, multimillionaire, but, you know, worth more than $1 million, I guess. Yeah, probably worth more than $2 million. But yeah, she had to give him like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
To get rid of him.
To get rid of him. And I was like, ooh, that's really fascinating. And then I've got another friend of mine, dear friend I've known for most of my life, and he's dating a chick, and she's also kind of in the more breadwinner situation, and they're getting a divorce, and he's going after her for both settlement and for alimony because just the way things worked out, and she's fighting him on this part too, but initially he's got the kids for more days than she does, so he's going for that. And I'm just like, gosh, that is one of the, like that.
Which here's child custody is separate from that sort of spousal support.
No, but he wants both.
Yeah, well, sure, don't we all? Be careful. Alimony is taxable to the recipient, I believe, where the property settlement often would have been, the taxes would have been paid by the one paying.
Right. Yeah.
So just be careful how you classify it, because sometimes the amounts might be similar, and it's how you structure it.
Yeah.
Like If it takes you longer than 5 years to pay it out, it's probably alimony, or
Yeah.
if it's less than that. And those are like IRS guidelines. They give you a couple of tips. Like if it looks like this, it's probably
Yeah.
you can't call it one thing, but make it act a different way and get the tax treatment for that. It's got to meet this certain list of requirements. But
I just can't. No, I get it. I can't imagine. And this is like the old-fashioned, clearly in me, of like, I just can't imagine being a dude and being able to look at yourself in the mirror, having taken
child support payments from your ex-wife.
Well, child support if you're desperate and you got to whatever. I'll because child support's always going to be a relatively small sum unless you get really lucky and the person like. So if it's like a small amount of child support, okay, maybe I don't know. I can kind of work through that, but taking a percentage of like again in both or in one of the cases there was no children, right? So getting rid, I'm just trying to imagine being a guy, you've had no children, and you just are going after her for hundreds of thousands of dollars because she made more money than you. That is so emasculating. I don't know. I don't know if I could do that.
If you lived with her during the time that she accrued all of that income.
But you're working too, just because she just happens to be a better earner than you.
Right. But if you both lived in the same house, just because, like, whatever the career is, you're still supporting her while she's pursuing it, and she's supporting you while you're pursuing yours. And at the end of it, you're splitting. Hey, everything that happened during these years, like, we were working together during that time, so I should be entitled to a portion of it. You don't think?
I get the one. Yeah, I mean,
that's the court's argument.
I
I'm
know,
not saying
I know, but
like
I'm just like as a dude, I don't care.
I love that old-fashioned sense of gender norms. How do we keep
told
all the benefits of being a female,
yes,
but also get all the benefits of the feminist?
I know.
Like,
I told
all the
Ollie,
rights and all the gentle treatment also.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know. Like, who doesn't want it all? Want it all? Yeah. In the deep. Anyways, that was
Adele.
Yes, thank you, Adele. But anyways, I definitely told that to Ollie like early on. I was like, if this thing doesn't work out, and you end up making a bunch more money or accumulating more wealth, like I'm never gonna ask for a dime. I might be like, if there's like a car laying around and I don't have any vehicle or something, like, would you please like toss me a crumb here or something? Like, I could see that, like something super practical.
You exempted yourself.
Oh God, yeah, immediately. I just told her I did a prenup with her, but I told her I was just like, I don't want anything of yours. Like, if this doesn't work out, I can't imagine being that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
The un-Kanye.
Wait. Did Kanye go after Kim?
No, well, I don't. In that scenario, I really don't know because I'm not sure. But he wrote the song about she's a gold digger. Holler, we want prenup. We want prenup. If you can sing Adele, you can sing Kanye. Come on. I ain't saying she's a gold digger.
Oh, I ain't saying she's a gold digger.
But she ain't messing with
no broke one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
At some point, he says, "Holler, we want prenup." That's what you did, only you were excluding yourself.
Yeah, I was excluding myself. Yeah, I was just like, I was making sure.
Yeah.
Well, because I came when I came into the marriage, I was coming in the deficit financially. I was in a business we were in a startup business that wasn't looking great and ended up failing. So, and I also had other like debts from my past life, and I was like, that's not going to affect her at all. So I did a really good prenup to make sure she was protected from my past debts.
That's so noble. That's so fantastic.
But I just don't understand, like, why wouldn't everybody do that?
Well, that's probably why a lot of people marry successful women, is to try to settle up those past debts and everything.
God, no.
Hello, lovely friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And it would mean the world if you would tell other people about this podcast and maybe even spam your social media accounts with just how much you're enjoying it. If you are, of course. Also, commenting and rating us on whatever platform you're downloading or streaming from is incredibly helpful to a little startup podcast like this one. On the other hand, if you are dissatisfied with your listening experience, please leave all of that hate on someone else's podcast. Just maybe to confuse them a little bit, right? But most of all, we hope you keep looking up and looking for the sunny side of life.